Hi, this is Tom from the Physics Classroom. I'm here to teach you how to create a simple task tracker task at the Physics Classroom for doing concept builders. So you'll notice here that I have the concept builder section open. When you're creating a task, really the process begins by becoming familiar with the concept builder and finding one that is just the perfect one for your class. And you have a lot to choose from. As you do your little research, I want you to begin to think about four terms. When you think about class, well, what class would this be good for? I want you to think about topic. What's the topic you're looking for? I want you to think about the word task or concept builder. And finally, I want you to think about activity. That's class, topic, task, concept builder, and activity. So I'm here at the physics classroom and I'm going to look for something for my regular level physics class. And right now we're doing the topic of one-dimensional kinematics. And you'll notice as I scroll through here, here's one-dimensional kinematics. And I've already done this. I've gone in and I kind of scanned the different concept builders or tasks that fall under this one-dimensional kinematics topic, and there was one that really caught my eye, and it was this graph that motion, because right now we've been doing a lot of kinematic graphing, and I think this is just going to be the perfect time to insert this concept builder into my curriculum. And I've gone into this graph that motion, and I've looked at it, I've kind of researched it, and I figured out that graph that motion has 3 difficulty levels. And when I looked at the difficulty levels, what I figured out is that the perfect ones for my class would be the apprentice and the master. Okay? And I've done some thought about this, and in my thinking, I figured that I would like to make a 5-point assignment for this graph that motion, and I would like to make the first difficulty level, the apprentice level, worth 3 points, and the master worth 2 points, and I don't even want my students to do the wizard level. So I've done this planning. I figured out the topic, and I figured out the task, the concept builder, and I figured out which activities here in the concept builder are perfect for the class that I'm going to assign this to. Okay, so now that you've done all that planning, the next thing that you're going to do is you're going to implement the plan. So what I want you to do is head off to your to the account page and log in. So you can find that up here at the upper left corner of the page. And then if you go to the very bottom of the left side navigation column, there's an account button. Sign into your account and you come off to your account page. One of the links there is courses or classes. Click on that link and it opens up the classes that you have. They'll show right here. And I only have one, and it's Physics Period 1. I'm going to click the eyeball, and I've chosen the class. Remember, classes, topic, tasks, and activities. I picked the class now. Now I'm going to pick the topic. So you see this little button right here that says Create Topic under the heading Topics. Now it ends up that I've already created the topic, Concept Builders, One-Dimensional Kinematics, and that's the topics I've chosen for this task. But if you haven't, then you're going to click the Create New Topic, and this pull-down menu comes up, and you're just going to pick from the pull-down exactly what you want. Now I've already done it, so I don't need to pick anything. I'm going to use the breadcrumbs to go back to my class, Physics Period 1. So I clicked right there. Here's my class. Here's my topic. So I've got class, Physics Period 1. I got topic, one-dimensional kinematics. And now I'm going to go get the task. So to get the task, you're going to click on this little eyeball in order to see all the tasks that are available for that topic. The page refreshes, and what I see are 4 tasks that have already been assigned. They're listed right here on the page. Now, what I want is I want a new task. So there's a Create New Task button. I'm going to click on it, and when I do, this pop-up menu comes up with all the tasks under the topic of one-dimensional kinematics not yet assigned. And what I'm going to do is click on it and find the task I want, which is graph that motion. There it is. I pick it, and now I have to fill out the remainder of this form. There's a place to put your date. Use your calendar and pick a due date. I recommend pick a due date. I know sometimes you don't want the due date to be at the end of the year, but pick a due date. I recommend that. And then here's a place for your teacher message. What I like to do is I like to write in this spot right here something like, to be successful with this assignment, review slides 13 through 19 of the slide deck for one-dimensional kinematics. Review this particular page at the Physics Classroom tutorial, and I might list a link. And then finally I might say, and review the handout covered in class on Tuesday. I give them some help. And then I might add something like, this is a 5-point assignment. And you get 3 points for doing apprentice and 2 points for doing master, and don't bother to do the wizard. And that's kind of what I put in that little teacher message. Whatever you want, whatever you like to give the kids in terms of what you want them to know in order to be successful and what they should know about the assignment. And then finally we come to this completion point value field. Now this is really important. You got to kind of latch on to what this is. What completion points means is that you're going to set up some required activities and you only get points for it if you do all of them. It's an all or nothing attribute associated with this task. If you like that, it's perfect for you. If you don't like that, what you're going to do is put 0 there, and that's what I'm going to do. 0 points, all right? Because I want them to do 2 activities under this task, and I want them to get partial credit. And if you're into that, don't put a number there, because that's an all or nothing number. So I'm going to leave it at 0, and I'm going to say, yeah, you can submit late. And the page refreshes, and then I can say, if you do submit late, it's entirely up to you. You could put 0 there, or 25%, or whatever you want to put there. Is what you get as a penalty. All right, and then I'm going to submit again. So after the page refreshes, you'll notice that the form is expanded again, and there's 3 new fields that haven't been there before. There are minimum activities to complete, maximum activities counted, and bonus points per extra activity. And you'll notice that these 3 forms have filled in 3 and 3, which are the defaults for whenever you have 3 activities in this particular Graph That Motion concept builder. Now, if you remember when I did my planning, I didn't want them to do the wizard. I wanted them to do the apprentice and the master level. So I'm going to write 2 there. And for the maximum, I'm going to type 2 because I don't want them to do the 3rd activity. And then finally, for the bonus points per extra activity, well, there aren't any. I'm just going to fill it in with 0. And finally, click Submit. Now the page refreshes and saves that information. And what I've now done is I've completed the task properties. And what I'm going to do is now go back to the activity properties screen and set some activity properties, like how many points each activity is worth. So to do that, I hit the Back to Task button, and that refreshes the page again. So when the page refreshes, I come to this, and I call this the Activities Properties pages. It lists the Graph That Motion task, and it lists the activities in the task, whether I'm requiring them or not, and the point value that they have. And now I have to set the activity properties. Now you'll remember in the planning stage I said no wizard level, and there's a trash can right next to wizard level. I'm going to hit that trash can. Now what I do when I do that is I don't remove the wizard level from the concept builder. I'm just removing it from the task. So students will now know, hey, I don't do the wizard. I just do the apprentice and I do the master. And the page refreshes, and when it does, it looks something like this. And what I'm requiring students to do is I'm requiring them to do the apprentice and the master. So I'm going to click the Edit Activities button, and this little pop-up comes up, and I'm going to say those are the 2 that are required. And if you remember in the planning stage, I said I want the activity to be worth 3 points, the apprentice to be worth 3 points, and I want the master to be worth 2. So I save this, the page refreshes, and I'm almost done. Let's take a look at what we have. We now have, for the Graph That Motion activity, we have a due date. We have the 2 activities that I'm interested in. They're both required. We have the point values, and I've given them a description of this assignment that they'll see that says, you're just going to do these 2 and it's worth 5 points. I'm done. I have finished this little assignment. I picked the class I'm going to assign it to. I've picked the topic, the task and the activity, and I've set it up perfectly. Now to finish up this video, let me show you what you've made. So I'm going to go to the breadcrumbs near the top of the page, and I'm going to click on Concept Builders, One-Dimensional Kinematics. That's the topic. And when I do, I see all the new tasks that I have under that topic. And the one I just made is this one, Graph That Motion. And we see these icons over here on the left side. If I ever need to go back in and look at this Graph That Motion and make some edits, I'm going to use the eyeball icon. One of the icons is the clone icon. This can be very useful. If you hover over any of these icons, what it does is it gives you the meaning of what the icon does. And when I hover over the clone icon, it says clone to another class. And I only have one class, but if I had more than one class and I clicked on that, my classes would show up in a pull-down menu, and I could pick what class I would want to clone this assignment to. In other words, you don't have to do it more than once. If I want to see the scoring, how it's scored, I can click right here. It shows how it's going to be scored. If I want to see any other action along here, I can just hover over here. This allows me to also do some editing at the task properties level. So these are how you create a simple task. Thanks for joining me today. I wish you the best. You got this.